Rivers State government has threatened to explore all legal means to get back the 300 million naira hosting rights paid to Nigerian Bar Association for their annual conference by the suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The statement reads: Rivers State Government rejoinder on relocation of NBA AGC 2025. Rivers State Government has noted the statement by the NBA on the relocation of the 2025 Annual General Conference from Port Harcourt, Rivers State to Enugu State. The Rivers State Government, however, outrightly rejects the NBA's recent allegation that the 300 million naira payment made by the state was a gift unrelated to hosting rights for the NBA AGC 2025. For clarity, the Rivers State government's records show that the payment of 300 million naira to the NBA was made with the mutual understanding that Rivers State would host the 2025 edition of the NBA AGC. The Rivers State government entered into this arrangement with the NBA in good faith, with the understanding that hosting the conference in the state would attract significant economic benefits to our state, positively and directly impact the businesses of our people. The NBA's unilateral decision to relocate the AGC 2025 against our mutual understanding and subsequent decision to withhold the 300 million naira paid for the purpose of hosting the NBA AGC 2025 in Rivers State is unethical and amounts to a breach of trust. Failure of the NBA to immediately refund the 300 million naira to the Rivers State government will compel the implementation of all legal means to recover the property of the good people of Rivers State. We reaffirm our willingness to engage in partnerships with all professional bodies, including the NBA, but we will not accommodate exploitation of our people and the Rivers State government. Signed, Hector Ibikuobo, SSA Media, Rivers State Government, Government House, Port Harcourt. Chris Oka, what do you make of this story?
Well, who knows? Something just came to my mind. Who knows if why the State Administration is inviting the suspended governor is to clarify on this, because it was during the administration of Fubara that 300 million Rivers people money was given to NBA. What for? How much did the other state government give to NBA for this hosting? So, and the Rivers State government, the sole administrator, said from record, it was given to NBA because they told them that they want to host their conference in Port Harcourt. And I'm sure that is the reason why the state government have to make the sacrifice of 300 whooping sum of money. That's a huge amount of money. And now NBA, relying on the political crisis in the state, have decided to move the conference to Enugu. And the state government from record has discovered that the 300 million naira was released because NBA told them that they want to host it in Port Harcourt. And that's why the government decided to give that huge amount of money. I don't have issue with supporting organizations like NBA when they approach. But my issue is, how can a responsible government give 300 million naira from what the NBA is saying just for asking for help? Because
what NBA is saying is that it is a gift.
How can they give up to
it is
300 million?
And
that's
it
my
is
point.
Unrelated.
It is not true. It cannot be. That's why I'm saying that NBA approached the government with the promise that we are hosting this thing in Port Harcourt. Support us. And that's why the government have to give up to 300 million naira. How much did other state government give to NBA? So is Rivers State looking for where to give money to give 300 million naira unconditionally? I'm sure the 300 million naira was given is because NBA told the former governor, the suspended governor, that conference will be in Port Harcourt, and as a way of encouraging them for coming to Rivers State, and the government decided to give up to 300.
As much as 300. As much as 300.
I don't want to.
All right.
I don't want to go into all that. I don't want to go into all that.
It's all right.
But if for any reason you are coming to my state and I decide to show you some level of hospitality, I don't have issue with that.
300 million.
But NBA should not tell Rivers people that the suspended governor gave them 300 million naira for merely acting for support. It's not true. Nobody should come and tell us. Rivers people, are we looking for who to dash money? So, for me, I don't have issue with that man. Okay. But NBA should not look at us and play with our intelligence. That money was because of hosting. And I am in total support that since NBA has decided to, you want to accept our money because you want to move your conference to Enugu because there is a sole administrator in Rivers State. And you want to use our money.
But so if it has been done already.
No, you have to send us back
the conference has been done. All right, very well.
So whatever legal action the sole administrator want to take to recover Rivers people's money, I am totally in support of that. Like I said earlier, let me crown it again. Who knows why the sole administrator is inviting Fubara is to clarify on this issue, because the NBA is saying it's a gift, and the record they have is that it was a hosting right. So I'm sure, but the governor should also, the Fubara should also go and explain whether that money was actually a gift or hosting right.
All right, very well. Lauren Godwin, you said you wish the sole administrator luck in getting the money.
Retrieving the money.
All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts?
Well, I want to thank the NBA because some time ago, I think in 2008, in Pakistan, when the head of state, as usual, they were just doing anyhow, they suspended the constitution, and the man was acting at reckless abandon. The judicial arm of government rise up, they stood up and led protests for weeks on ending to reinstate democratic rule in Pakistan, and they succeeded. I want to tell you something. The NBA is a judicial body, Nigerian Bar Association. There are those who took time to go studying our laws and the constitutions in a university, in schools, and they came out, and they are all lawyers and law officers. So if they've seen that shifting the venue of their annual conference or AGM, whatever it's called, shifting it from Rivers State to Enugu is their own way of revolt or protest or showing their dissatisfaction to the illegal government in the state as constituted now, then they have my support, because I think that what NBA has done to the military administrator is a big blow under the belt, because this man is looking for legitimacy. And I tell you, the NBA coming to host their conference in Rivers State would have given some boost or impetus, giving some support, as it were, to the government of the day, which to them, I believe, they have conscience. They are trying to uphold the constitutionality of our constitution. So not coming to host their meeting here, their conference here, it's a way of revolting. It's a way of solidarity, showing support for a constitutional government that was suspended.
All right.
So I think if the military administrator want to retrieve the money, I wish him luck.
All right, very well. Now, growing up, there is this thing my mother would always say. My mother would tell us, when you reject the devil, you reject his gifts, his vices and his virtues. My mother will always tell us that if you know you will not have a relationship with somebody, do not accept anything from that person. Hold on. Now, you are speaking from the angle of the NBA having a conscience, because you saw that NBA has a conscience and they acted out of conscience. Now, the question is, where is the place of integrity? Where is the place of integrity? So if you reject the devil, if you have integrity, you will not go to the backyard and collect gifts from the devil. No, hold on.
Okay.
If you reject, let's say the money was released in, I think, August 2024, and now there is a sole administrator, the right thing to have done is to return the money and said, we do not want to have anything to do with Rivers State until full democratic governance is restored. Then we can talk about an association, a judicial arm, like you said, upholding integrity with conscience. But then you upload the conscience in quotes. But now, the question now is, does NBA have integrity? That should be the question that I'll be asking. Now, don't you think, Churchill, that NBA should return that money, considering that there was an understanding, according to what Rivers State government is saying, there was an understanding that made the government, the suspended governor release that money to them. And NBA has now said, no, there is no understanding, it was a gift. And then, if they say it's a gift, that brings me to another question. On what was the gift premised?
Okay, let me come to that.
Why does that explain why NBA has taken the side of the suspended governor all the while in Rivers State crisis?
It's okay.
Churchill, go ahead.
NBA has never taken the side of the suspended governor because they are the factor behind the whole crisis. They are the major factor behind the whole crisis.
NBA is the major factor behind the whole crisis.
The judiciary that took the decision, that the script, the decision they took, the ruling they gave, and the this thing we saw, the judgment we saw is different thing altogether.
That's not the job of the NDA. No, let me correct that before you go ahead. You're talking of the NJC. The NJC is the National Judicial Council. They take care of the judges. When you're speaking of NBA, Nigerian Bar Association, you're talking of lawyers. And in this instance, I expect you will probably be talking about lawyers that will take matters to courts that do not have jurisdiction to entertain the matter.
Okay, don't worry. I don't
right. Do you want us to delve into the activities of lawyers from SANs down to charge and bail lawyers in Rivers State that have taken matters that clearly they know that the court does not have the jurisdiction? They will take the matter to the court that does not have jurisdiction. And NBA will still come out to applaud some of these judgments and expect the orders that were given overnight, an interlocutory injunction that was given without hearing from the other party. Do you want us to delve? Do you want us to delve? Hold on. Do you want us to delve into the activities of lawyers and how lawyers? Because when we blame, no, you went there. When you blame the judiciary, the question is, how about the lawyers, the NBA? I have never heard one day NBA coming out in Rivers State crisis to condemn the activities of its members that take matters that do not belong to a certain court.
That is the reason why I said let's not go deeply into that, because
you went there.
If I go there, I will spend more time. But let me just
go ahead. Suddenly you don't want to go there.
Let me just say something. You know, Rivers State is good in dashing money, in giving gifts of money. Rivers State gave 500 million to Sokoto.
That's
Nobody
right.
talked. Rivers State gave 500 million to
everywhere.
About Abia State. Benue. Nobody said anything. Benue State. You know, if the governor of Rivers State gives 300 million, it's not equivalent to it's part of us. We can give.
Generous.
Rivers State is generous, so that shouldn't be the reason. Like what Chris is saying, that might be the reason why the sole administrator is inviting the governor. No, it will not, because Rivers State has been giving and will not stop giving. So 300 million is gone. It's gone. That one is gone. It can't come back. But the only thing is that I love the decision of the NBA, even if this is the first time I'm saying it, because I see judiciary to be something different. Not during when we were small. If you tell your father you want to go and read law, you say, my pikin wants to go and read law. If you say you want to go and read medicine, my pikin wants to go and read. But now if my son or daughter tell me he wants to go and read law, I will ask you 3 questions about the Supreme Court ruling. We are believe in things that is happening in this country, because they have changed the decision of everybody. You understand? You see, what I'm saying on my own is that NBA taking decision of taking their this thing to Enugu is the best thing. Let them tell the world that Rivers State. Chris said Rivers State is not in peace, that the administrator is here to bring peace
to restore peace to Rivers State. Yes, Rivers State is not in peace. NBA has taken their conference to where there is peace. So why will you now, when you know that the administrator is here to restore peace, why will you now suggest that the NBA, when the peace has not been restored, to bring their own conference here where there is no peace? It's not possible. So me, I'm of the support that they should take it to Enugu. They should remain there in Enugu. Then when there is peace, conferences will start coming to Rivers State.
All right, very well. But then it still boils down to the integrity of NBA.
No, it's a dash.
Hold on, if the government is saying differently, the government says that they have checked their records and it was based on hosting rights. So one would say, if it is based on hosting rights, then that money should be refunded.